Hey everyone, you're listening to The Fire Journal, a documentary style podcast where I document my journey into and beyond the fire service. My name is Jesse Gonzalez. I am your host, and let's get this party started. So, episode 2 of The Fire Journal. Last week, we talked about the NREMT test, the National Registry test for EMT to be nationally certified that I was taking. Today is Sunday. It is May 24th, and I took my test Friday, 3 days ago. Quick update, passed, baby, let's go. So pumped about passing on the first time. Had a lot of people praying for me on that one. Shout out to all my friends and family at the Celebrate Recovery group at church. Shout out to my younger brother who's going to church and praying. Thank God for that. Thanks to my friends in the fire group chat. You know who you are, boys. Praying for me on that one too. So pumped that I got to pass. So we'll get into that a little bit later. This is episode 2. Episode 1 talked about, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. That's the beginning of the whole journey. Episode 1, to quick layout, working through a lot of sound problems and, still figuring it out, working out the kinks with the lighting and the angles and all that stuff. So excited to just be trying out new things. New addition to the family, got the iMac. That was a gift. It was given to my mom from a family friend, Jillian, and she said it didn't work anymore. Really all it needed was a reboot. So completely wiped the drive. Got a brand new 2019 iMac, perfect for recording. And thanks to my lovely wife, giving me the sound equipment and everything else. And added a desk, a stand-up desk for a stand-up guy, you know what I'm saying? So got a stand-up desk. Currently sitting in Sammy's chair, so just rocking out with this thing. Doing what we do, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, working on the little set that I got in our spare bedroom. Moved the bed over, just kind of hanging out, man, doing our thing. So yeah, got a podcast mic, got a Blue Yeti that's in the mail. Amazon delayed it like a bunch of times, so hopefully it comes in and I don't have to get a refund, because I would love to get that mic on the way. And I got the boom arm. I just don't have it set up because I don't have the mic. So got a cool little boom arm. So next episode, you guys will see me with the podcast mic and the boom arm. Just so I don't have to be holding, the handheld mic and get a little bit better sound quality. But right now, this little thing is doing great. So this week, we're gonna get into my story, just so you guys can get to know who I am, a little bit more about me. Last week, we touched into the reason why I'm becoming a firefighter. So give you guys the general overview. This week, we're gonna be getting into who I am, just so we can start off as a basis. That way you guys can get to know me. I'd love to get to know you. Put your story, your testimony, if you got one, in the messages below. And yeah, so let's get started. So I was born in Cuba in 1998. Yeah, I was born in the 1900s, boy, get off me. Yeah, born in Havana, in the municipio de Regla, so the municipality of Regla, Havana. So born in the capital. And my grandfather was born in Spain, so he gave us Spanish residency, so I'm a resident of the country of Spain as well. And that was how we were able to leave Cuba legally, my mother and I. So thank God for that, total God thing. Left when I was about 5 years old. I was turning 6 when I came to America. I still remember the flight over here to America, just my mother and I, and a friend of ours, Felix. Rest in peace, Felix. And that was one of my earliest memories. So, came from Cuba, single mom and I. She met my stepdad shortly after. Our good family friend introduced us, Kitty. And I loved my stepfather from the moment I saw him, apparently. And yeah, my mom and stepdad are still together. But that's my dad, man. So I love to say that I have 2 dads, and I'm super proud of calling Celso my dad. So love you, brother. I love you. You're on a plane to Spain right now, actually. My mom and my brother and my dad are on a plane to Spain right now for 17 days. So they're out of here. Yeah. So yeah, grew up in a Cuban household, speak 2 languages, studied French a little bit for 6 years. So je parle un peu français as well. I speak a little bit French, you know what I mean? And yeah, just my mom had my little brother. We're 10 years apart. He is the world to me. I love him so much. He's going into the Coast Guard now. He's 17 years old, so he's got 1 more year before he enlists and goes to serve our country. Love you, brother. And yeah, so I kind of beat him to it. He's upset that I beat him to like the first, paramilitary, first responder kind of thing. But yeah, he wants to go in the Coast Guard and be a boatswain or a boatsmate. I forget what it's called, but yeah, he wants to go do like drug interventions and things like that in Miami or Washington State. He's awesome. He's wanted to be a cop his whole life, so that's my boy, putting me in handcuffs since 1998. Yeah, man. So I grew up, idolizing the men in my family, loving them. I don't agree with everything that I was taught. Cubans and Jesus Christ are very different people. So, the morals of God and, how my people can sometimes be was really contradicting. So, I grew up with Cuban morals and were no shame, no hate, no shade, but we just like to party and can be womanizers and can be very vain. And again, that's the culture of the country that we lived in, so it was really easy to do that, and we're not the only country that does that, so whatever. Thank God got a hold of my heart and has been working on me since the day that he got me. So grew up in that, followed that for a long time, just kind of really selfish, doing my own thing. After my grandpa died, that really struck me really hard. That's a story for another day. And I went off the rails in high school. Again, playboy, hard to believe, but I was a playboy and just kind of running game and doing my thing. Sold a little bit of things I shouldn't have, and made some money on the side and did a couple things, and got expelled from high school, and I got expelled from 8th grade too for a lot of referrals. So yeah, I was just ADHD, wanted attention, wanted somebody to love me, and didn't feel like I was getting that at home. So I was trying to find it out in the world, and I found something. I found a lot of things. So yeah, I was supposed to graduate 2016. I didn't end up getting my high school diploma. I failed by like 2 credits. So dumb. Got expelled, 2 months away from graduation. GPA was dirt poor, 1 point something crazy, right? I just didn't try. I didn't apply myself. So I didn't graduate until 2020. So it was actually, 4 years after that I graduated with my GED. I look back on it now and I go, man, that GED was so easy. I should have passed that as like a 9th grader and gotten out of high school. But that's not life advice, by the way. But just letting you know, you can get your GED and it's okay if you don't get your high school diploma. That's okay. But yeah, so that was my life. Made some bad choices that ended me in jail a couple times, and that was totally not where I should have been. I didn't learn the lessons that I was supposed to have been learning, and it wasn't until I committed a really bad one and spent 365 days in 2 different county jails. So that's where the story really begins, right? So I spent 365 days, 2 different county jails, did the whole thing, trustee, serving in the cafeteria, playing basketball, getting to know people, learn how to play cards. If you know a good spades player out there, hit me up. Not everybody knows how to play spades, but your boy can play some spades, all right? And yeah, it was a real turning point. You know, I was without my family for real for the first time. I didn't know anybody. It was just me, myself, and I, and a brick wall and a couple books. So it was around the 6-month mark. I really hit rock bottom, man. I called my mom on the phone, and they were out on a cruise, I think, and I could just hear, you know, the people around, the hustle and bustle, the laughter, and man, I was just really sad. My head hit the brick wall, and I was like, God, I need something. And I didn't believe in God, okay? I didn't believe in God. I didn't know God. Didn't have a relationship with him. But something in me asked my bunkie to pick up his blue leather Bible. I'll never forget it. It was a Gideon's Bible. You know, the ones that they hand out to inmates and they put in hotel rooms sometimes and things. Shout out to the Gideons. Thank you for doing that. And I picked it up. I read Proverbs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, this is not a religious podcast. I'm just telling you my story. This is just how it happened. Remember documenting my journey through the fire service. This is just how things started. So you're getting to know me. This is the real me. Welcome. So yeah, I picked it up, read Proverbs 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you know anything about the Proverbs, you know that it talks about the friends who are quick to steal from other people and draw blood and, you know, create plans to kill other people and do violence. And then it talks about the adulterous woman and the dumb young man who follows her into her home while her husband's away and sleeps with her and commits sin and gets entrenched in all those different sins. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was messing around with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, stealing, being violent, not living the way I was supposed to be living, and not really true to my identity as the man and the young man that I was at the time and still am. So not really true to myself. That book cut me. It read me it cut me like a knife, and it read me from front to back, inside and out. Those words I could identify with, and I said, wow, there is something here. And us Christians know that the Holy Spirit is still alive and breathing, and his word is as active as it's ever been. And just to make that really simple, guys, that book was written on purpose, for a purpose, so we could refer to it and we could gain wisdom and insight from it throughout all time. To read the story, to read the good news that Christ is crucified for our sins. He took them all on the cross. He paid the penalty that we should have paid, and he took it all upon himself because God would rather have a relationship with us than put us all to death. That we should not receive the consequences that our heinous actions so deserve. And if we're all honest and we can look in the mirror, we've done some pretty heinous actions. No matter how good of a person you think you are, we all sin and fall short of the glory of God. We all make mistakes that really, one, take us away from relationship with others, and two, take us away from relationship with God. And again, if you don't believe in God, I'm not pushing my beliefs on you. I'm just telling you my story. All right, moving on. So I accept Christ in my cell right there. No pastor, no preacher, me, the Holy Spirit, God, Jesus. One, boom. I was like, this is it. This is what I need. This is who you are. This is who I am. You see me. You love me. You accept me. You read me like a book. All right, cool. I'm in. So I start going to Bible studies in there. I get out. I start dating again, going down the wrong path, doing things I shouldn't be doing again, and just trying to find my way, right? So I get out, month 3, I'm 21 when I get out, by the way. Month 3, I get my GED after getting out. Month 6, I get my real estate license in Florida after getting out. All the while, I have this charge on me, so making it really difficult to do things, but still I tell my story and people believe in me and give me second chances. So month 3, I get my GED, real estate license, and then month 9, I get my NASM personal training certification. So I become a personal trainer, right? I get super into the gym, love that, get fit, all that stuff. Real estate doesn't work, and so I'm getting back into the church. It was the church down the street. They were doing a trunk or treat event. They opened up their trunks, they decorated, all the kids out of the neighborhood come, and they get candies, the coolest thing in the world, super cute. So yeah, I just said that. Yep. Okay. All right. Moving on. So, yeah, and And I get there, and this one kid out of nowhere, man, this one guy, he's kind of younger than me, but he's like 4 years younger than me or something. And he comes and he's like, hey man, you should join the leadership college. That guy, that boy was one of the groomsmen at my wedding years later. So love you, buddy. Thank you so much for reaching out to me and asking me to be a part of that journey with you, because that changed my life. So real estate had left me high and dry. I thought I was going to scale the corporate ladder, be a millionaire by 30, retired, all that jazz, whatever. And all my misdeeds had left me empty too. So I had traveled to hell, and then I thought I was traveling, all the way up in the world, and that left me kind of empty too. So I met God where he was at, and he met me where I was at, and he was like, hey man, I need you to meet me right here. Not there, not here. I need you to meet me right here in the middle and study my word. So he did the proverbial follow me. So if you've ever heard of Jesus calling the fishermen out, and he's like, hey, now I will make you fishers of men, come follow me. And if you're Christian, you know how revolutionary that is for a rabbi to call his students instead of the students trying to follow the rabbi. And Jesus did the proverbial follow me with me, right? And so he tells me that, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'll study your word. So that begins my 4-year journey of getting a degree in biblical studies, which I later switched on and graduated with ministerial leadership, church leadership, right? It's a leadership degree, and in church I learned about nonprofit financial management and preaching, and preached for 4 years around the country. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So built lifelong friendships, worked in the church, volunteered, loved it, and yeah, like I told you guys last episode, when Hurricane Ian hit here in 2022, that's when I knew, I wanted to be a first responder after we responded. So yeah, that's my before. That's my foundation. Was in the world, went to hell. God got me out of hell. I devoted my life to Jesus Christ, and he paid me back tenfold in a new life, a new mind, a new heart. And now I get to go into the fire service, serving others the way I learned to do at church, serving my community, preaching either loudly or quietly or silently the word of God, just with my actions, loving people well, being slow to speak, slow to anger, quick to listen, quick to serve, picking up the trash, doing the dishes without complaining, setting an example for those younger than me and older than me at times, being humble, being wise, knowing when to speak up, knowing when to be quiet, and serving with my whole heart. That's what I want to inspire other people to bring into the fire service, and that's what I'm bringing into the fire service. So get ready. That's it. And now here we are, going into this profession, loving every minute of it, getting to exercise some of the coolest gifts that God has been able to give me. This podcast. My wife is super supportive. She's an ER nurse, so she's in this world too, which I think is really cool, that my wife gets to experience some of the things that I get to experience, that I get to bring her some of these patients, and then she gets to treat them and work on them. My wife I'm 28, she's younger than me, she's 5 years younger than me, and she is just a stud, man. So yeah, we'll transition. She is phenomenal. Yeah, I'm so excited that we get to be together and kind of work in the medical field together, so to speak. So, all right, next, my national registry. All right, and for those of us that have not taken it or are soon to take it, this section is for you, okay? So for the national registry exam for EMTs, if you're at school where I went and you're taking, FISDAP, actually I think they might have phased that one out, so FISDAP probably isn't even relevant anymore. But study your peds, study your OB. Those are the weightiest questions on the NREMT. So the National Registry Test is 120 questions. There's multiple choice, there's choose 2 to 3 to 4 selections that are correct, and there's drag and drop, so you have to put them in order. I didn't get any of those. And the difficulty of the question is based on the topics that you're getting correct. So if you're getting PEDS correct, it's going to give you more difficult PEDS questions. If you're getting PEDS wrong, then it's going to give you easier PEDS questions so that you can make up, the ones that you've got wrong. So it's reading you as you're taking the test, right? It's going to read you on trauma, operations, all of the things that you learn throughout medical, airway, breathing, circulation, pathophysiology of diseases, disease processes, everything. Know your stuff. Take plenty of practice questions. So here's what I did. Here's how I felt while taking the NREMT and what I did before. Okay. So you've passed EMT school, or you're in EMT school, or going to EMT school. Great. Kill it in class. Be a leader. This is the advice I gave an upcoming firefighter EMT. She asked me the other day. We got connected through a pal at work. She asked me the other day, hey, what should I do? What should I study? How should I go in? I said, be a leader. Be hungry. Be dead set on what you want. Don't let anybody distract you. Don't play around. There's always going to be those kids that play around and mess around. Like, be focused. Be the leader. At least that's how I was taught. That's how I was raised. And that's just the attitude you got to go in with. Like, take people's lunch money, but be humble about it. Just be there and set an example. And some of the guys now that I'm going into fire school with, they respect me because of that. They're like, oh man, dude, like, you should be the class leader, or you should be the group leader, because you just come in here, you hold yourself up high, and I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just trying to give you an example. Like, go in there, be hungry, go to learn. And I know I'm talking to a lot of younger folks when I say this, because there are a lot of younger folks that are starting out as EMTs. Me, I'm 28. I'm nearing my 30s. I go in with a little bit more life experience. Like, I just shared my whole story with you. So I'm going in with a little bit more life experience, especially coming from a leadership background for the past 6 years, right? So that's my advice to you. Take it or leave it. There's my 2 cents. All right. So what did I study? I did about 500 practice questions. LC Ready, you can Google that. LC Ready is a phenomenal resource, right? So they do a course. They come out to your school most of the time. That's how it happened with me. And they do courses all around the state of Florida. And you get to study, review, and take practice exams, right? So it'll, in a bar graph or line graph, it'll show you your scores over all of your practice exams. It'll show you your averages, and it'll give you a trend, right? Of, wow, you got better at PEDS, or hey, you really need to work on your airway stuff, or wow, you're getting better at trauma because of all of the repetition. So know yourself and know your study habits. You're gonna have to crank down, because after you finish school, there's a waiting period for you to be able to get your school certificate and then apply for your national test date. So you need to study in the meantime. The worst thing you could do is nothing. That is the #1 way to fail. Not study. You're gonna have dead spots between the test and the end of your school. Study, please. So that's what I did. I took about 500 practice questions. I did study the day of. I know you're not supposed to, but I was halfway through a practice exam and I wanted to finish it. So that's honestly what happened. So I went in, felt really comfortable. They give you noise canceling headphones. I felt really comfortable. Right out of the gate, the questions were not the same word. They weren't the same questions, but they were worded almost exactly the same. I mean, the same style, right? So it wasn't that I was studying one material and it looked completely different on the test. No. It was really close. I mean, I felt so confident in that test, and I was a nervous wreck before, y'all. Super nervous. And I felt so confident while I was taking it. I go, oh my gosh, like, I'm doing really good on this thing, right? So I did a brain dump. You know, I wrote my APGAR score. I wrote my rule of nines, the burn ratios for peds and for adults. I wrote when to give BVM, when to give my NRBs, and when to give my nasal cannulas. I wrote Beck's triads. what else did I write? There were a ton of things that I put on my brain dump because I knew that I would forget them, and I knew I needed them for reference. And guess what? Those same things came up on the test, and I was like, oh, a baby's head is 14% or 18%, and their arms are actually 14% of their body. So when they get burned, it's a little bit different than an adult. And dude, that question came up, and I was like, bro, this is why we study. Come on, boy. So I felt super good during the test. I was like checking off the questions, like, yes, I got that one right. Yes, I got that one right. Come on, get off me. And it shut off at 70 questions. So like I said, if the test, I didn't mention this before, but if the National Registry test deems that you will pass at that point where it goes, hey, you've passed, it could be 70 questions, 75, 80, 85, 90, all the way up to 120, it'll shut off on you. Boop. So you either are doing so good that it's deemed you've passed, or you have made or have gotten too many wrong to where even if you go up to 120 and you finish, you still won't pass. So it'll shut off on you and then you get your results. I got my results the next day in the mail. So I'll throw up a picture of the certificate so you guys can see it. Super exciting. So glad we got that one out of the way. Then you have to register with the state of Florida. So for me, I have to tell about my background, and you don't have to do background like fingerprints for EMTs and paramedics. Those are waived actually, so awesome for your licensure. So you can't practice just because you passed through National Registry. You have to be a licensed practitioner in the state of Florida, and then that's valid for 2 years, and then you have to do continuing education. So I could be wrong about this. Well, what I think is that once you're in the field, because you're in the field, you are automatically renewed. I don't know how it works, so maybe I'll have to do continuing education someday. I don't know. So that's it, man. That was the test. Super happy. Congratulations. Throw up some confetti. Yay. So I put here what I did to celebrate afterwards. So if you've never been to Blue Dog Bar and Grill, go get you a Mahi Reuben. All right. If you ever get a chance to go to Blue Dog down in you know where, that's where to go, man. So I went out with my boy and spent some time with my friends right after the test. They were out at a restaurant. I met up with them, celebrated, shot it up with them, and then left, hung out with my wife. And then the day after, went out to dinner with my boy. That was really fun. And today, I spent the whole day grilling outside. My wife found a Blackstone, like a 4-burner flat top Blackstone. It was rusted outside in our neighborhood, and our neighbors were like, yeah, we're just buying a new one. You can take that one, it's rusty, we don't want to clean it. Like, yo, okay, money. So I cleaned it, put some Stark Venom on it. Shout out Stark. If you want to sponsor the podcast, let me know. Stark Venom on it, and which is a water spot and rust remover. So I did that, soaked it up in there, and then I gave it 5 coats of oil over the top to kind of season it, let the pores open up. It's like cast iron, right? So it's like a giant cast iron flat top, and it worked great. So I did the inaugural barbecue today, you know what I mean? And did some dogs, did some burgers, some asparagus, some eggs, some hot sausage. Love me some hot sausage, man. Comment your favorite barbecue foods down below. Maybe we could meet up and do a barbecue someday, and get you on the podcast. So yeah, that was fun. Went in the pool. My wife was at the hospital all day today. She's a nurse, she works there. So she was at the hospital all day today working. She had a good shift. Getting a lot of compliments out there. Charge nurses are telling her she's like the coolest thing since sliced cake. So she's killing it over there, like I knew she would. So she was out at work all day. I spent the day with the dog. Threw him in the pool a little bit. He likes the water. It just sucks because we live in a multifamily residential apartment complex. So by law in a commercial pool you can't have animals. I still threw them in there anyway. Don't tell code enforcement on me, but threw them in there. So had a lot of fun. Right now we are at, I can't tell. Yeah, still learning this thing. Don't know how long we're at, but doing pretty good on time so far, I believe. So yeah, we're here, and we're here like 30 minutes, I believe. So yeah, could be wrong. We'll figure it out later. So that's what we did to relax after a big win. Make sure when you pass your enter EMT, you guys relax and celebrate. You earned it. You deserve it. Go kill it, man. Yeah, just to close this out, what's upcoming? Fire Academy is in 4 weeks. Fire Academy at North Collier Fire and Rescue. So really excited about that. Trying to get my boy Mills Media Outdoors, shout out my boy Corey, to get in there and record the physical test. He wants to get some footage of that. He's the best, man. He'll be in the water shooting boats, you know, getting camera shots and doing drones and going to hunt bucks for like 15 hours in the mountains with all his gear. He's the best, man. So hoping he gets to do that. I emailed the chief. We'll see what he says. I'll update you guys later. So that is that is coming up shortly. It's the 24th today. Yeah, in the 20th is the exam, and it's pass or fail. If you fail, you don't get in. So we'll talk about training a little bit on the podcast, probably a lot. It's something I love to do, and I hope you guys would too if you're going to be in the fire service. And yeah, I put training for specific goals: running, hypertrophy, fancy word for bodybuilding, right? Yeah, so training's a big thing. Now, in the span of 4 weeks, I've been training for the past year, running, like really consistently, working out really consistently, working on my pull-up game. Now I just transitioned into sit-ups because I know we'll be doing a lot of sit-ups and body weight movements. So my burpees are there, thank God. Shout out to CrossFit, man. I was a CrossFit trainer for like 3 years, so got my burpee game strong. Yeah, and running now has become a passion and hobby. I got a lot of passions and hobbies. My wife will tell you, like, she's sick of all my passions and hobbies. So running, and then switched to a little bodybuilding just because I work out at Hot Works, so it's a small gym, and yeah, it's usually really, really quiet. I'm like the only person there besides like some girl that's doing yoga or something, and I'll be working out in there. Got basically the whole free weight section of myself, the cable machines, the rig. So it's really nice. I feel like it's like a home gym, so it's perfect. And I pay for like $30 a month, dude, and it's like 24 hours. I got the intro price. So train, make sure you train. If you're going into the fire service, make sure you train, dude. Just show up ready. Like I tell all the guys in our fire chat, like, dude, run. Just freaking run. Just get over it. Run, train, because you don't want to be that guy, man, that makes us run more. There's always going to be that one guy who doesn't take it serious and is dragging butt behind us. And apparently, from what I read, we're not allowed to pick you up and cheer you on. That we can't pick you up. I got to run circles around you. So that's just what it is. And I don't want to have to run circles around my boys. I want my boys to run circles around me. And then we make it a competition to run circles around the other pals we don't know. So yeah, just train. Train at what you're weak at. I stink at running long distances, but now I can get up to like 5 miles at a comfortable pace, probably like 10 minutes, 11 minutes a mile at that pace. Dude, I stunk. I hadn't run a mile since high school, and in high school I could barely run a mile. Now it's fun too. So you learn to do the things that you're not good at, and then you get better at them, and then you keep progressing that way. So train. All right, that's my last point. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Had a blast. I have a blast getting to offload this with you, getting to share, giving you a little peek into my life and into what's going on. Would love to hear what your thoughts are. Comment down below if you want to hear about something specific. Got a lot of episodes coming out in the future, so can't wait to keep this thing rolling. I'll be dropping 3 episodes for the launch. That's the plan, to give you guys some content to look at and listen to on your drives or whenever. So hopefully we're trying to keep it around the 30 to 45 minute mark. And like I said, still learning the software, still trying to get my setup right. But for now, I think we got a good thing going. Got the mic coming in, got some better audio equipment for you guys to be able to listen to. And for me while I'm editing, because gosh, dude, editing terrible audio, like my first video is just not it, man. So thank you so much for watching the Fire Journal. Again, it's a podcast documenting my journey through the fire service and beyond. I'll be documenting weekly, so make sure you subscribe on YouTube. That would be awesome. Try to get all you guys to join the family and become part of the thing we got going on. Subscribe and share if this was helpful for you. If you like it, send it to your buddies, send it to your girls. Maybe they'll listen to it, maybe they'll comment, maybe they'll subscribe and share it to somebody else. I know these kinds of podcasts help me when going through the fire service, so if I'm here, just if I can be available to help you in any way, let me know. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thanks for watching the Fire Journal. I'm Jesse. Peace.